So be honest. How many times have you started a workout plan on a Monday? You know the one. You meal prepped on Sunday, your gym bag is packed by the door, you've got the playlist ready with all the epic motivational tracks. You've even bought a new water bottle, one of those fancy ones that tracks your intake, as if pure hydration is the only thing standing between you and peak physical condition. The smell of new sneakers is in the air. This is it. This is the week it all changes.
Ugh, personal attack right out of the gate. I feel seen, and not in a good way. Are you looking at my search history? Beginner workout plan that will change my life forever.com? Or maybe how to get fit in 30 days with minimal effort? My phone is definitely listening to this conversation. It's probably already queuing up ads for protein powder I don't need and yoga pants I'll never wear.
I'm serious. Monday morning, new shoes, new app, big intentions. You've told 3 friends you're getting back into it for accountability. You've posted a vague, inspirational quote on social media. Something like, be stronger than your excuses. The whole 9 yards. You're not just starting a workout plan, you're launching a campaign for a new you.
The accountability text, a classic move. You get a "you got this" message back and you feel a surge of motivation. And then by Thursday, you're negotiating with yourself like, well, I did walk from the parking lot and it was the far parking lot today. That's like an extra 100 steps. That counts for something, right? It's practically a warm-up for a workout I might do later or tomorrow. Definitely by the weekend.
Exactly. Or I took the stairs instead of the elevator, which is great. Any movement is good movement, but it's not the hour-long HIIT class you promised yourself you'd do 5 times a week. It's not the sunrise yoga session you envisioned. And that's when the gap between expectation and reality becomes a canyon and the guilt spiral starts. You feel like you're already failing.
Oh, the guilt spiral is the worst part. It's worse than the workout itself. You start thinking, see, I can't stick to anything. I'm just lazy. I have no discipline. It's like you have a tiny, judgmental coach living in your head, and they are not very encouraging. In fact, they're a real jerk.
Which is wild because no one's grading you. There's no fitness report card being sent home to your parents. The only person keeping score is you, and you're using a ridiculously strict grading curve.
But people feel like there is. They feel like they're getting an F in Adulting 101. And that feeling of failure in one area can bleed into everything else. Suddenly, you're not just bad at working out, you're bad at life. It's a very dramatic internal monologue.
Yeah, and that's the problem we want to talk about. Not just the workouts, but the whole emotional roller coaster that comes with them. The hope, the guilt, the frustration, the feeling that you're doing it all wrong.
All right, let's actually start the show. Because we promise, if any of this sounds familiar, you are not alone. Not even close. Let's get into it. Welcome to the Fit Curious podcast, where curiosity becomes consistency. I'm Darren.
And I'm Ashlyn. This is a show for people who are interested in getting fitter, healthier, stronger.
But don't really see themselves in traditional fitness culture. You know, the world of six-pack abs, motivational quotes screamed over intense music, and before and after photos that seem completely unattainable.
Right. If you've ever thought, I should probably do something about my health, but felt overwhelmed, confused, or just quietly exhausted by all the noise.
You are in the right place. We are your people.
And just to be clear, this is not a wake up at 4 a.m. and grind podcast. We will not be telling you to hustle harder.
Absolutely not. In fact, we might actively encourage you to sleep more. Revolutionary, I know.
No ice baths required, no restrictive diets where you can only eat, beige-colored foods on Tuesdays.
Optional screaming into the void, though. We find that can be very therapeutic for releasing stress before, say, attempting a push-up.
That's more of a mental health crossover episode. But the point is, this is a judgment-free, guilt-free zone. We're here to explore what it means to build a healthier life that actually fits into your real life.
So this is episode 1, and we figured we should start with the obvious question. What is this show really about?
What does Fit Curious even mean?
And why are we specifically talking about it together? To answer that, I think we should probably introduce ourselves properly.
I agree. You go first, Darren.
All right, so I'm Darren, and for most of my adult life, my primary physical activity was typing.
Most of my 20s and 30s were spent in high-pressure corporate work, long hours, constant responsibility, very little margin for anything else.
Translation, lots of sitting, lots of stress, and probably way too much takeout.
Correct. Elite-level sitting. I was a professional chair user, and my body felt it. My back always hurt, I had no energy by the time I got home, and the idea of going to a gym felt like just another job I didn't have time for.
With occasional bursts of panic cardio, right? Like you'd wake up one day, realize you haven't moved in a month, and go for a 5-mile run that leaves you sore for a week.
Exactly. And fitness was always something I meant to get serious about, but it was framed as this huge, complicated thing. You need the right gear, the right program, the right trainer. It felt like another high-stakes project.
Another thing to optimize and perfect.
Right. And every time I tried, it felt like I was either all in or already failing. I'd do P90X for 2 weeks, get incredibly sore, miss a day because of a late meeting, and then just stop. The perfectionist mindset I used at work was completely toxic when applied to my well-being.
That's such a key point. And my story is kind of the other side of that same coin. So I'm Ashlyn. My background is on the mental and emotional health side. I've worked for years as a therapist and coach with people who are overwhelmed, burned out, and constantly feeling behind in their own lives.
Which turns out to be a lot of people, basically everyone I knew in my old job.
A shocking number. And what I kept noticing over and over was that stress doesn't stay in your head. It's not just a feeling of worry, it shows up physically.
How so? Like what were you seeing?
It shows up as chronic tightness in your shoulders and neck. It shows up as fatigue that no amount of coffee can fix. Poor sleep, digestive issues, low energy, even getting sick more often because your immune system is suppressed. Our bodies keep the score.
Right, and then people blame themselves for not pushing harder through the exhaustion.
Which usually makes everything worse. They try to force themselves to go to the gym, but their nervous system is already screaming for a break. So exercise feels like a punishment, not a relief. It becomes another source of stress.
And that's where our two worlds collided. We were having coffee one day, and I was complaining about another failed attempt at getting fit, and you started connecting all these dots for me.
I remember that. You were talking about your all-or-nothing approach, and I was talking about my clients who were too burned out to even consider going for a walk, and we had this shared realization.
At some point, we realized most people aren't failing at fitness. That's not what's happening.
They're failing at unrealistic expectations. Expectations set by an industry that often thrives on making people feel inadequate.
They're told they need the perfect plan, the perfect schedule, perfect discipline, perfect diet, no excuses.
And if they have a busy week at work, or a kid gets sick, or they just feel tired and miss a few days, they feel like they've blown it. The whole project is a failure, so they might as well just give up until the next perfect Monday.
Which is wild because nobody treats learning a language that way. You don't say, oh, I missed my Duolingo lesson on Wednesday, I guess I'll never speak Spanish.
Or learning an instrument, you don't throw your guitar in the trash because you didn't practice on Thursday, you just pick it up on Friday.
You don't quit guitar because you missed Thursday, but with fitness, we have this bizarre pass-fail mentality that sets almost everyone up to fail.
And that's where the idea of being fit curious came from. We wanted a term that took all that pressure off.
So let's define that. Being fit curious isn't about intensity. It's not about how much you sweat or how sore you are the next day.
It's about intention. It's about being curious instead of critical. It's about asking better questions.
Totally. Instead of asking, what's the most extreme workout I can survive, you ask a different set of questions.
Like question number 1, what would actually help me feel better right now? Not next month, not for summer, but today.
Right, and the answer might not be a grueling workout. If you're stressed and exhausted, the answer might be a 10-minute walk outside or some gentle stretching. It's about listening to your body instead of yelling at it.
Exactly. The second question is, what's the smallest thing I could do that actually matters? We get so fixated on the 1-hour workout, we forget that a 5-minute anything is infinitely better than a 0-minute nothing.
Maybe it's doing 5 squats while the coffee brews. Maybe it's parking at the back of the lot on purpose. It's a micro dose of movement. It's about building momentum, not achieving perfection.
And this is the big one. The third question is, what could I realistically stick with? Not what could I stick with if I had a different life or more time or a personal chef. What can I do in my actual life right now?
That's the key. Consistency trumps intensity every single time. A 15-minute walk every day is a million times more effective than one heroic 2-hour gym session every month that leaves you hating life.
So, fit curious people aren't chasing six-pack abs or a marathon finish line, unless they genuinely want to. There's no judgment if you do.
Right, but for most of us, the goals are different. They're chasing the ability to play with their kids without getting winded. They're chasing better sleep.
They're chasing energy, strength, confidence, and less pain.
Sometimes literal pain, like the goal is just, I want my back to not hurt when I get out of bed. That is a perfectly valid and amazing fitness goal.
It's a foundational one, and that's what this podcast is going to explore. We want to redefine what success in fitness looks like.
So, what can listeners expect? Some episodes will be very practical. We're going to get into the nuts and bolts.
Like how often you really need to work out to see benefits. Spoiler, it's probably less than you think. Or we'll talk about the difference between movement and exercise.
Or what to do if the gym kind of intimidates you. How to walk in, not feel like an idiot, and do a few simple things that will actually help.
Yes, demystifying the gym is a big one. And we'll cover how to start when you feel completely out of shape and totally out of time.
And then other episodes will zoom out. We'll get into the psychology of it all.
Things like motivation, burnout, and why your relationship with your body matters. We'll talk about identity and why starting to take care of yourself can feel so emotional and not logical at all.
It's going to be a mix of practical advice and permission to be human.
I like that. Permission to be human. Permission to not be perfect.
So if you're listening to this and you've started and stopped more times than you can count,
Or you're just quietly wondering if you should do something, but you don't know where to start.
the main takeaway from this first episode is this: you're not broken. You're not lazy. You haven't failed.
You're just curious. You have a little spark inside you that's wondering if there's a better way to feel good in your own skin.
And that's enough. That curiosity is the only thing you need to get started.
Welcome to the Fit Curious podcast. We're so glad you're here.
The Fit Curious podcast is for informational and entertainment purposes only and is not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always seek the advice of your physician or other qualified health provider with any questions you may have regarding a medical condition. Before starting any new fitness or nutrition program, please consult with a healthcare professional.